Have you ever pulled a bag of potatoes out of the pantry and seen those little purple-white sprouts pushing out like tiny alien fingers? Most people glance at them, remember some warning they once read, and either toss the whole bag or just snap the sprouts off and throw the potatoes in the pot anyway. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because the common advice, just remove the sprouts and they're fine, or throw them out the moment you see green, is almost always incomplete. It misses the actual mechanism of what's happening inside the potato. Today, we're going to look at sprouted potatoes the way a practical engineer would. Not with panic, not with blind trust in internet rules, but by understanding where the toxins live, how they behave, and what you can realistically do about it. Let's start with the observation that probably got you here. You see a potato with sprouts. Sometimes the skin under the sprout looks a bit greenish. Sometimes it doesn't. You've heard solanine is toxic. You've heard it can make you sick. But you've also eaten sprouted potatoes before and nothing happened. So which is it? The potato plant, like many nightshades, produces glycoalkaloids, natural chemical defenses. The two main ones in potatoes are solanine and chaconine. In a fresh, properly stored potato, these compounds exist in very low, safe concentrations. They're part of the plant's built-in protection against pests and fungi. But when the potato thinks it's time to grow, usually triggered by light, warmth, or just age, it starts converting starches into sugars and ramps up production of these glycoalkaloids, especially in the areas that will become the new plant, the eyes, the sprouts, and any green parts where chlorophyll is forming. Here's the key mechanical detail most warnings skip. The toxins are not evenly distributed. The highest concentrations are in the sprouts themselves, right at the base where they emerge, in the eyes, and in any green skin. The flesh deeper inside usually has much lower levels, but if sprouting is advanced or the potato has been exposed to light for a long time, the toxins can diffuse further. Most people read the supermarket sign or the quick internet tip as a simple binary. Sprouts equals bad. So they either waste perfectly good food or take a casual risk. Neither is precise. Let's look at the real numbers and behavior. Fresh potatoes might have 2 to 15 milligrams of glycoalkaloids per 100 grams. The safety threshold that generally doesn't cause noticeable symptoms in most adults is considered around 20 milligrams per 100 grams, though sensitive people or children react at lower levels. When sprouting begins, levels in the sprouts and surrounding tissue can jump significantly, sometimes to 100 milligrams per 100 grams or more in the affected areas. The bitter taste is your body's early warning system. Solanine and chaconine taste noticeably bitter when concentrations rise. If a potato tastes bitter after you've cut away visible sprouts and green bits, that's a strong signal to stop. Now, the practical part. What an engineer who's fixed a lot of real-world problems would actually do in the kitchen or workshop. First, inspect the potato. Is it still firm when you squeeze it gently? No soft, shriveled, or slimy spots? Good starting point. Second, remove the sprouts completely. Don't just snap them, cut them out with a small paring knife or the pointed end of a vegetable peeler, taking a little extra flesh around the base. That's where the highest local concentration sits. Third, check for green. Any green tint on the skin or just under it? Peel that area generously, at least a few millimeters deep. Green usually means chlorophyll and elevated glycoalkaloids together. If the green goes deep into the flesh or the whole potato has a strong green cast, it's safer to discard the whole thing. Fourth, the taste test after preparation. Boil or cook a small piece first. If it's noticeably bitter, don't eat the rest. Does peeling and cutting remove enough? In mild cases with small sprouts and no widespread greening, yes, for most healthy adults. Cooking, boiling, frying, baking does not destroy the glycoalkaloids. They are heat stable, so mechanical removal is what matters. There's an old practical trick from people who've worked with potatoes for decades. Store them properly to prevent sprouting in the first place. Cool, dark, well-ventilated place, not the warm kitchen counter or fridge. Fridge can increase sugars and indirectly affect quality. A paper bag or breathable container in a cool basement or pantry works better than plastic. If you have a lot of slightly sprouted but still firm potatoes, you can salvage them for stalks, mashed potatoes, after thorough trimming and peeling, or even plant them if the sprouts are healthy. But for direct eating, the stricter you are with removal, the lower the risk. The myth that a few sprouts are always deadly is overstated. Serious solanine poisoning is rare and usually requires eating quite a lot of heavily affected material. Symptoms include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, and in extreme cases, more serious effects. But the vast majority of casual "I snapped the sprouts off" incidents don't cause noticeable problems, partly because most people don't eat kilograms of borderline potatoes at once. At the same time, the opposite myth, "It's always totally fine, just eat them," ignores that repeated low-level exposure or higher sensitivity, children, pregnant people, those with gut issues, can matter. The cautious engineering approach is, reduce exposure where it's easy. Don't take unnecessary chances when the potato is clearly compromised. One more detail that changes how you look at it. Different potato varieties have different baseline levels of glycoalkaloids. Some heirloom or specific types are naturally higher. And storage history matters. Potatoes that have been in light for weeks will have higher levels than those kept dark. So the sign in the store, or the quick advice online, is a blunt tool. It's trying to protect the most vulnerable cases. But as someone who spent years looking at how materials and living systems actually behave under real conditions, the more useful question is, what's the actual concentration here? And can I mechanically remove the risky parts without wasting good food? In practice, for a typical grocery potato with moderate sprouts and no deep greening, cut out sprouts and eyes generously. Peel if there's any green. Cook normally, and you're almost certainly fine. For heavily sprouted, soft, or deeply green potatoes, better to compost or plant them. The real takeaway isn't fear or carelessness. It's understanding the simple mechanism. The potato is trying to grow a new plant, and it concentrates its chemical defenses exactly where the new growth happens. Once you see that, the rules stop being mysterious signs and become practical decisions. What do you usually do when you find sprouted potatoes in your kitchen? Do you trim carefully, toss them, or something else? Let me know in the comments. I read them, and the real-world experiences are often more interesting than the textbooks. And if you want more breakdowns of ordinary things that turn out to have hidden mechanical stories, well, you know where to find the next one.